Yeah, I believe we are live. At least my Google Hangout says we're live. So welcome to the stream. I'm Marteinn, and today we are going to talk about post-processing 3D prints. I have to mute the audio. Yeah, today we are going to talk about post-processing prints, what we do to fix them up before we paint, or what we do with the prints afterwards. So just for introductions, I'm going to go to Kat and to you.
Hello, everybody. My name's Katja. I live in Liechtenstein. I have a small little YouTube channel since February 2017. I have lots of FDM printers, but I'm also into resin printing, and and I like to do some fun projects of different kind. Yeah. And I'm happy to be here. Okay, and you can find me, of course, all over on social media, Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, all over the place. Okay.
Thank you, and Mia.
Hi, I'm Mia. You know me, most know me from Twitter. I'm DasMia3 there. I have a small YouTube channel as well, and I basically do fun stuff like colorful prints or food stuff, like this muffin box I made lately. Yeah, if you like what I'm doing, just head over Twitter, watch what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm Marteinn. I have a channel called 3DP Iceland. You can find my links in the video description, as well as link to Kat's and Mia's social links. I do a little bit of everything on my channel, reviewing filaments and painting, like my landscapes. I'm gonna show you a little bit more in the stream. And I've been doing a lot of Star Wars models lately, and painting them as well, and also the projects on my channel. So do like a review of the Maker Box samples that arrive monthly, and quite a lot of other things. But yeah, we are only 3 people in the stream, and hopefully we'll be able to keep the conversation going. It's sometimes difficult with few people, but thank you all for joining in, and I will just start maybe with a few questions, like a round table questions, but then we'll just start the chat and see where we go. So first off, maybe Mia, what have you been doing in terms of post-processing lately?
I'm very lazy what post-processing. Yeah, I prefer if the prints come off the build plate and are perfect. But we all know this is something that is not going to happen. So basically, the things I do is clean the prints up, and that's about it. I'm really bad at painting, so I try to work with different filament colors. So my favorite post-processing tools are this one. I have no idea what it's called, but it's perfect to get the sharp corners away, or the elephant foot.
Yeah, it's called a deep burring tool.
Yes, thank you. A little knife for the small bits from Z-Top maybe. And my favorite, all have seen it, the lighter.
Yeah,
these are basically my post-processing tools I'm using.
Yeah, so basically you turn your models to fire when they are not happy.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna gather some tools I got recently that are somewhat familiar to Kat, maybe. Those are
yeah.
Those are very similar to dental picks. Quite maybe a crude version of dental.
Yeah, I have these 2 here.
Yeah,
I have to buy another kit of those because they're so good.
Yeah, but having those picks to, if you're cleaning out supports in
Oh, those are scalers. You know what those are? The scalers when you have this white stuff on your teeth. Then the lady she tortures you with those. You know, they have a very sharp corner. Yeah.
Yeah, I have
scalers.
Yeah, I'm familiar with. I'm a bit familiar with dental tools because I worked 3 summers as an assistant to a dentist.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But on to you, Kat. What have been your latest projects on that you have to work on finishing, and what have you tools and such?
So the guys who are following me on social media, they might have seen that I've been recently testing a resin printer, from Das 3D, and I'm going to return it tomorrow to Stefan Hermann, aka CNC Kitchen. So he doesn't live so far away from me, and I've already packed up everything ready to go. But I have the prints that I created. So lots of prints here, and I'm cleaning them up. So one thing you might see here, which when it comes to miniatures, you know, I take everything very serious. I'm a dental technician, so I'm just using the same workflow as I would in the lab. So there I also work with a microscope, and I saved for years to buy me this here. And the other tools I use are these snippers. You know, you have to get rid of those supports. You know, then very important, very, very important. Never forget some kind of glasses, although you might not be although you might not need them because you have good eyes. Then the X-Acto knife. Yeah, so this one, or this will be the dental version. This is scalpel. Wow, very sharp. And then, like Marteinn showed us, these dental tools. And I'm going to create a video quite soon about the processing, you know, the workflow, because I think it's something that might be interesting. And also here a kitchen knife. You know, I even use it for getting the objects off the build plate, because I don't like this big scraper here. This is like sometimes too I don't know. It's for me it's too big. So I like to go under one edge and then gently lift it off. And one last thing, then I'm finished. Of course, sandpaper sometimes, but you know, look at this here. This just costs you between 50 or 60 euro. It's for nail design. You can buy it on Amazon. This is the girlish version in pink. The boys could have one in blue, and there's even a foot pedal. So if you have the chance to get one, take one, please, with a foot pedal, and it has variable speeds on it. Martin, this could also be good for you. Very handy. It has variable speeds. You can go backward and forward, and you can change from foot, using the foot pedal to hand paddle. And it has, you know, a quick unlocking. And the tools you can buy from dental. You know, these are these little burrs. This is standard. The shaft has a standard diameter. And I always take the ones that are not good for dental work anymore, that are already worn off, using it on metal. But for acrylic, you know, this acrylic is so soft that they are still fine. And normally I would throw them away, but they're still good to go for this technique here. And you could also buy a kind of suction, you know, for the nail design. They have suctions, small little suctions, so the whole dust is blown in there or sucked up. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was a long one.
Yeah, no problem. So you clearly benefit from like the dental industry tools and techniques, like with those miniature resin prints that are so fine detailed that you basically have the same workflow like when you're cleaning out dental products.
Yeah. You know, this takes longer than working on a dental crown or bridge. You know, on this one I work like, say, 1 hour, because you know, because the supports are so tiny, and if you just rip them off, you have dents. You know, you have negative dents, and that is really frustrating. And so you should really take time to do the post processing. Otherwise, you just destroy what printed for hours. You know.
Yeah, what I've been doing lately is like those Star Wars
Oh,
figures.
Wow.
wow.
This one, I spent like a whole day just preparing before I applied any color. Just sanding down and
Yeah.
laying down the base and sanding down and preparing, and it really came out
Nice.
excellent. It was
Very nice.
yeah, probably 10 hours of work after the print, cleaning up and preparing and painting. And I've been learning how to do the weathering and passing up the models, like you see the scratches and
Yeah.
such.
Awesome.
You are using now, did you use your oh my goodness, I'm always looking for words. Airbrush?
Yeah, in like with the base colors, I use the airbrush and like the gray undercoat for the clothing, and then for the specific colors, I use normal paint techniques. So I'm starting to get more comfortable with the airbrush kit I got. So I'm slowly having it more prominent in my processing. Yeah, so like the base color is with the airbrush, and then I paint in the details and the colors. Like on this model I did, this
Wow.
was supposed to be like it's been laying in the ground for 1,000 years and was dug up, so it's all like messed up. And that's on purpose. And for most part, this was airbrushed, and then I painted in the gold. Then I just give it a good beating to basically scrape off most of the paint and getting it like it is. Like, see, it's all messed up, so to speak, but that's on purpose. So that was also gave me good time doing like aging effects.
Looks awesome.
You know, you're so good. You could, in the meantime, even give courses, Marteinn. You have a natural talent, really.
Yeah,
Don't say anything opposite.
Yeah, I have no like formal training in painting or color theory or anything like that. I'm just goofing around and seeing what works.
Natural talent.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing.
Really?
And here's the K2 SO model.
Wow.
And
nice.
that is mostly like just black or very dark gray, like the base, but there's some gold in the shoulder parts here and here in the back. And to get the effects, I first applied like a silver coat, and then the black paint, and then I scratched off the black paint, like you see here in the front parts, with all the battle damage or such. It goes into the gray or silver paint underneath. You can see like here in the back, it's like worn out if it's like been sitting and scraping away the black paint, and like you build up layers. Like if it would be when you start painting, and then when you're done painting, you start to take away layers to get the effects. Yeah. So and those two models I spent quite a good amount of time on. But it's this Star Wars mania started. I'm gonna switch cameras here a little bit. But here you can see the A2A2
Oh, wow.
and here's the A2S2. This little
Awesome.
brother.
Oh my goodness. But your table is getting too small in the meantime, huh?
I have no room in my area for all this stuff.
So what did I hear you saying? Just I don't know, maybe it was a joke that you want to move to a house where you have more space.
Yeah, I need a house for all this stuff. Here's the X-wing model I did. This was really like my first Star Wars model that I really spent time on doing painting and weathering, with all the stripes and damage to the stripes and to getting it like in a real like it was not just straight out of the factory, so to speak. With a pilot here, with the details in the pilot, and this I did, and just gonna take this away now. Here's another one, the TIE fighter. That one was a rather simple model, but nevertheless the same technique with like for the weathering. I just painted it with a spray can with gray, and then had like a cloth with the black paint covering everything and drying away the paint. So I've been slowly developing skills to make star or space models.
Yeah.
But then, of course, all this started with landscape paints.
So this was the training, huh?
Yeah. So I've been doing the landscapes now for quite some time, and I've probably done over 50, 60 landscapes overall.
Wow.
I'm bringing like 20 models to Murph to give away.
Oh, really? Wow.
And all the models I've done have been painted with brushes and with acrylics, but this one I did to try out and did with airbrush. So
that looks nice.
That looks really good.
So I'm starting to use airbrush techniques to get the landscapes done, and that was quite good fun as well. And to experiment a little bit more, but yeah. So I'm like getting the techniques of using the airbrush, like in finer details. And
a friend of mine, he doesn't live so far away from me. He's a expert in airbrush. He's an artist, so he's very well known in Slovenia, I think, or Croatia. He's very well known, and I recently I visited him, and when he airbrushes paintings, you really think they're like a photograph. He's incredible. I have to ask him if he could give me a course on how to do this.
Yeah, it's good fun, and I've been slowly like you have the control to adjust the airflow and also the amount of paint. Like the airbrush I got, it's a cheap one, but it has the option to you press down for the air and then you pull it down to get the paint. So if you have this option, then you have really good control.
Yeah.
It just takes practice and
how big is the compressor that came with it? Is it a small one?
Yeah, it's a tiny device. It's just this was.
How much was that kit?
It was like $50 or something, just of AliExpress. It was not very expensive.
But are you happy, or will you say I wish I would have a more professional one, or is that fine for you the way it is?
So far, it's fine. I have never used like a more powerful, better equipment, but maybe I don't think the pump is going to last very long. Already it makes more noise now than it did when I bought it initially, just after like 2 months. So I don't think it's like a quality product, but like for the air pressure and using it as such, it seems to be working fine. But my guess the pump is gonna die on me maybe after a few months. but I'll then maybe buy a little bit bigger one, more robust.
But just for starting.
Yeah, but
because fine.
I want to see if this was something I could do or felt comfortable doing, and I didn't want to spend like $500 on something that maybe I wouldn't ever use. So I decided to just buy a cheap one and see if I have some capabilities to do something with it, and to see if I would
like it,
like the process, and I seem to be able to use it and quite like the process. So most likely I'll have to upgrade the pump at some time.
I bet you do.
But like with the paints, I bought like a kit of like 20 different colors in a kit, bought on Amazon. So I've been experimenting, like blending the colors and all that. And
Okay. Is it easy for the nozzle to get jammed or
yeah,
the
especially if you don't thin out the paint good enough, it really has to be very like a milk consistent.
okay.
And the biggest mistake is just to put a drop of the paint in the thing and start to rotate around, like you have the thinner or the liquid, and if you get like full thick paint into the canal for the paint, and then you have to take everything apart and clean everything out, and so I got myself just small like plastic
you can just
shot glasses. So I tend to thin out the paint in this and then pour it in.
Okay. So do you use normal acrylic paints or those special airbrush paints?
Yeah, it's just normal. I got myself like in a hobby store. It's just acrylic paints in tubes.
And those work?
Yeah, I just thin them out, and I also got like
or what do you use for thinning out?
No, it's a liquid for airbrush thinner. Yeah, it's called airbrush flow improver. So it's
what are the ingredients of this?
I bet it's something very cheap that they fill into a bottle and label it to it's more expensive.
Yeah,
maybe it's just like Windex or something,
Water. Water with perfume.
Yeah, it doesn't even say what's inside it. It's
smell like. What does it smell like?
You have to.
Maybe it is Windex.
I think it's like it smells a little bit like isopropanol or something like that.
Okay.
So it's mostly
alcohol.
Distilled water with some alcohol in it, I would guess. But I'm no expert in this, so I just bought a bottle of this. I also got this kit from Valio.
Wow.
This has some like metallic colors and this is a little bit thinner than the acrylic paints, but I've been using it when painting this guy here. I was just putting colors on the brush and putting it on and putting color on the brush. So I use the same color with a paintbrush as I use for the airbrush. But I've seen I've been watching some people doing airbrush on Twitch, and they're having like in a glass bottle colors that are already thinned out, so you can buy prepared colors specially for airbrush, so you don't have to thin them out.
For lazy people like me.
Yeah. Matt is saying it's basically water and isopropanol alcohol. Yeah, the alcohol allows it to dry so quickly. Yeah, so so basically, what I've been using here for cleaning the bed, I could use that as well. Yeah, but my guess is they sell those small bottles like 100 times the price of the bottle. So you're thinking you're getting something special, but it's just the same.
It's just the label.
I have something similar because I always like to try stuff, and I don't have the bottle now here, but I like to use. Oh yes, I do. I have one bottle here that I want to give Stefan for trying it. It's just a cheap, very cheap liquid paper glue. It also has this wink wink. It also has the sponge, and that works so well for the bed, It's like €3 or something, It works really, really nicely. Yeah, I like testing, just testing crazy stuff, and if it works, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Sure. That's what testing is for.
Yeah.
If you always do just the same things, how could we improve?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You just have to be to experiment.
Yeah. Graffiti Tommy says you can even buy pre-painted models. Yeah, but why should you? That's boring.
Yeah, that would be no fun. Like I know that there's like a store here in Reykjavik where you can buy all this movie character models and a model in this size of maybe Batman or something. It's extremely expensive.
Yeah.
Like those collectible items and
the paint job is not nearly as good.
No, it's just factory made and put in a fancy box and with collector's edition sticker on, and then it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so the guys in the chat, how do they? Let's ask them. How do they post-process their models?
Oh, I see. Graphit is there. Graphit is experimenting with airbrush lately too, and his results are remarkable for the short amount of time he's doing it. Have you seen his models?
No, I have to take a look at them.
Yeah, I think it's Twitter has like the A with a just a.
Oh, is that your virtual brother?
Yes. My Twitter brother.
Tommy.
Yeah.
Hi, Graphit. I didn't get it. Yeah, because I'm so on this delta A, I'm so fixed on that, so I didn't get this now that this is him. Okay, I have to take a look. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's incredible how people are talented, and like with the painting, I've been watching on Twitch several guys that paint like miniatures that are like Warhammer or like they buy the models, they are factory made the models, but then they paint them.
Yeah, I thought about maybe under the microscope trying to paint this kind of stuff, but I first need to know how to. Yeah, I have no real talent.
Me neither. My painting skills are like zero.
You just have to start and see how it goes.
I can only paint teeth because there you also need painting. There I'm an expert, but I cannot paint other stuff than that.
But
I'm so bad at this. I always mess things up. My hands start shaking pretty quickly, and so the paint gets everywhere, but not where it should be.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you can paint like the teeth in that detail, you should be able to paint the models. You just have to be a little bit more creative with the colors.
Martin, can I come to Iceland and you show me, please, so I can combine holidays with getting a course from your side?
I'll come with you.
Yeah, sure.
We should make a meetup.
Yeah,
and then, this is got to be finished. Share, learn, grow. I still need to stick the letters there. Yeah, because multiple processes on the CraftBot 3 are not possible. I tried it and it smashed. When I changed the color and I resumed, it smashed into the model instead of hopping onto the area where it should start printing.
No.
It doesn't work. Not with Craftware. With Simplified 3D, yes, but not with Craftware. So yeah, I think this is a very nice thing that we can using this medium, YouTube or social media as such, to show our talents to each other and maybe influence each other and get excited about new techniques that you would normally, if not using those social media, you would never thought about trying before.
Yeah, absolutely true.
Yeah, like with the painting, because of the landscapes I do, those I had the models in my mapping software because I create maps for Iceland, and I decided, okay, it would be cool to 3D print a model out, and I found a way to convert my data into a STL file. Even though like map like this is maybe 1.5 gigabyte in size for STL, so it's really big file because it has the underlying model is really detailed. And I was watching people print out landscapes and see how people were doing it, and like you showed me, Kat, you were printing them like this on the bed.
Yeah.
But I tried to do it like this on the bed, and
to get more detail.
Here you can see on the side note, this is because of multi-spole mode on the palette. I was using up different colors. but
I'm always afraid about the wobble, because
I printed like 45 degree on the bed, so like if it would be moving like this on the bed, it would start to wobble. But I turn it like 45 degree, then it's corner to corner, and then I can do it as big as possible because it's corner to corner. But then I print like 30 to 40 millimeters per second, so I print really slow, and I have like 1 centimeter brim around the base, so I always cut it off, of course, but it's like 1 centimeter to each side, a brim, and that has been giving me good results, even with like, I'm gonna find some bigger ones. This is even bigger. Also multi-spole mode with a palette.
I thought I'd give that a try too. The Craftbot 3, it has a very wide bed. So I think if I would go from corner to corner there, now that I have dialed it in, because I had this is already the second one that I have, because the first one that I bought, it was like I was among the first 5 people to receive that model in the very beginning, and it still had lots of child diseases and German Kinderkrankheiten. I don't know what the English word is for it. So they replaced it for me recently, but the new one is really working well, and I think I will give it a try now, because going from corner to corner there, I can create a huge landscapes, Martin. I could go. I don't know how the height. It could be like the CR10 maybe. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm gonna give it a try. I have to print a map. I have to print a map now. You just gave me an idea what I could do next on this thing.
And I was printing away with my Prusa, and I decided I wanted a bigger print, so I got my CR10 basically to do the landscapes, and I could do them quite big. It's also more fun to paint a little bit bigger area when you're painting.
So I remember that you said that you had a rough start with the CR10, but now it's working fine, huh?
Yeah, I've done so many upgrades. I could talk about it all night long. But basically, I've upgraded almost everything on it, and I have like a series of videos on my channel with upgrades and changing out things, and now it has like a direct drive configuration with a Bondtech and Mosquito hot end, and so a lot of things that I've designed, like the mount for the Bondtech gears and the hot end. That's a design I made. So I've been doing design videos and upgrade videos and troubleshooting videos on that machine, and like it was disappointing how bad it was when I got it. It had a faulty power supply, and the extruder was all jammed up, and basically I couldn't use it, and the cables from the control box burnt over, and there were so many troubles with it. But then again, I had a chance to do all the upgrades to fix things, so I did videos on everything. So many of my CR10 videos are quite popular on my channel. So, so it was like bad luck, but somewhat good for my channel, maybe to have this terrible printer to fix and upgrade. And because a lot of people have a CR10 without any any of those problems I had, but my machine was like a Monday unit or something. It was terrible.
Just like my A9.
Yeah, you told me about that last time. Yeah, it's crazy. I think you exchange everything on that thing, huh?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just, get a machine like this, and then you have to make it work somehow. But this is how we learn. How I most of the things I know, I learned about because I had to.
Yeah.
It's if you have something to break down and you spend the time to investigate and take things apart and find out what's wrong, and it's a good. For me, it's a part of the hobby to like I upgrade and change things on my printers just because I want to do the upgrades for the purpose of the process. Like for my MK3 Prusa machine, I did the bear upgrade on a 5.5 hour live stream. People were asking me why did you do this upgrade? Was something wrong with the printer, or what's the reason? And I said, yeah, it was just a project I wanted to do. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the printer and no reason to change anything of the printer. I just wanted to do the upgrade for the process and having fun and doing the build and all that. So, and you can do endless things, and it pretty much goes same with post-processing prints. When is a print ready? Like with the Boba Fett character, I was always finding some more things to do, and you can always put in some more detail and spend a lot of time on improving, and it's difficult to say, okay, now this is finally in a finite state. You can.
I know that too well.
yeah. If you like, I was trying to emulate the colors, like the green colors and the yellow colors here. I was trying to get them as close as some reference images I had found, and there were like thousands images of Boba Fett and Boba Fett models and from the movies, and then like for real like toys and all kind of people painting and such. So it was, I had to decide, okay, this is the theme, or this type of model is the color scheme I want to replicate. And I was working on it, and then I found maybe I'll take something out of this image I found and add that to it, and so it was like a mix, maybe of 2 or 3 sources, because like with the cloth like it has here on the shoulder, there are several colors of that one, and this one I put in like it was really dirty, and you can see how the dark gray, like it's been laying on the ground or something, and this is most like all the toy models, they have this part very, very clean, but I wanted this one to be like it's been in battle and been used and had been in bad weather or whatnot. so you can always if you get your mind flowing, so to speak, or your thought process, what's the story, what's the situation you're coming out of, like with this guy. Most images of this guy, and even in the movies, he's not so beat up. It's pretty plain model in most cases. But I decided to give him hell, basically. And I thought, okay, he has to be in some action and some fighting and rolling on the ground and like wear and tear, and so slowly with the process, you're building up a story behind why is the model like that. Especially like with I'm gonna take it down again.
Oh, it seems to be heavy, huh?
Yeah, it's quite
How
heavy.
many kilogram? How much kilogram is there?
This one was like 1.5 kilogram of
Oh my
PLA,
God.
and there was like half a kilogram of supports that I removed. But like you can see on this one, has a lot of dirt in it. And normally a spaceship wouldn't maybe have so much dirt on it, but I thought he was having like a ground battle of like with all the blasting gravel coming up in the air and with shooting drums on troops or something, and therefore he has this type of weathering. So
oh my God, be careful.
yeah. So you if you like create a little bit of story with what the model has gone through, then you try to get that through. Like with this guy, why is like the gold all torn up, and why is it so rough and beat up? And my story for this one is that this was like a relic laying in the ground and was dug up by some people thousands of years after the relic was lost. So therefore it is like it is. So it's not like a fresh model just out of the factory. so and creating those like mini stories or whatnot, that's where you get your imagination flowing, and where can you stop? You can do whatever. It doesn't have to be Star Wars cars. If you just create a car and you create some scratches and like it's had a small accident or something to give it a little bit more lifelike characteristics. So if you create a story and how you can tell that story with the post-processing, then that's easy and fun to say. And this is because he was like driving down the road and hit a car, and therefore it's all scratched up on this side, and then it makes the model more real. But it's it's good fun to create like a miniature action episode of each model.
So it's not only a model; it's a whole story.
Yeah. And if you like, like I said, it doesn't have to be like Star Wars or something. It can be whatever. Just if you take whatever model you do, and can be just some jewelry and something, and you're cleaning it up, and you want to make it like it's been worn out, with like a gold ring that's been worn out because it has been on the finger of an old man for 50 years because he's been married for 50 years, and it can't be about anything, basically.
You know what? Today I was talking to a friend of mine, and he showed me, because I showed him the pictures of what I'm doing at the moment at home, and he showed me a book about European graves that they opened up, Celtic graves and stuff, and they found those things that they bury with the dead people. Like pottery and things that they wore, or basket with food or something, but also the jewelry. And there were some very, very nice pieces of jewelry that looked like, weathered and old, and and I that really inspired me, and I think I will gonna try to create some jewelry that looks a little bit like antique,
Yeah,
something like that.
But to get the life into it, so it's
ethnic. I don't know. Is it ethnic, or what would you call this kind of influence?
Ethno style.
No, ethno style I think is more African, isn't it?
True, that's African.
So I would like to go to like ancient jewelry. Jewelry from all over the world. I will go into the internet and do some research, and then I will put a picture in front of me, and then maybe I will wax a little bit, or if I'm getting better with, hopefully one day with a cat design, I can do it also on the screen. But that I think would be my style, and then combining it with those glass beads, because if you know that these glass beads are nothing that is very new. there are also graves where they found ancient glass beads, also made very, very nicely with decoration on it. So it's not a new technique. So something like that.
Sounds awesome.
You know, in Nepal, for instance, and he also showed me pictures from Nepal, and the ladies were wearing necklaces that had big glass beads on them. And I thought, oh my goodness, there's just like lamp worked glass beads, and then some gold with it, or other metals, I don't know, and it looks very, very nice.
Is it more of a is it like woven metal, or
No, it's hard to say. I don't know the English word for it. I think they hammer it. They have their profiles very thin, and then they hammer it, and then it has dimples on top of them, and decoration, ornaments, and stuff. Very nice.
so basically like plated in or something, like a basic shape where you get those lines in, and then the glass beads set in there, or
no, the glass beads, just like a necklace, and then they have a glass bead, and then they have a metal bead or something, and then they have maybe, I don't know, seeds or something, different kind of materials. So just on
in a row.
In a row, yeah. So it's very interesting. I think that would be something that I would love to try and to experiment.
Nice.
Just like Marteinn with his colors, I would like to try to copy those techniques that the ancient people used, to make it look similar.
Yeah.
It also has to do with color, because the glass beads are also in different colors.
Yeah, I've at least find it good fun to work on the model. I print a lot of things that I don't paint, but taking like those models and making them more real, and giving them away. If you put a lot of work into it, it's just not a process of the printer, and you just have it there. That's one thing. But if you spend a few hours on a model just painting, and then it's more personal gift also if you're giving it to someone. So.
Yeah, that's a personal thing then, huh?
Yeah,
something unique that nobody else does. Yeah, maybe 10 people print out the same model, but if you give it to 10 different hands for decoration purposes, post-processing or painting, and then you will get 10 totally different looking models, which show the personality of the maker. Then it's really nice, very interesting.
Yeah, TK is saying he's making like stained glass.
Yeah, I have to take a look at what he's doing there. Sounds very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, with a like all the. Have you seen resin? What's it called? No, I can't pronounce his name. It's a guy that is doing a lot of stained glass.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Tinkerdork, Tinkerdork, I think his name is. He was like making a version of the Joel bot, and he made the Fun King logo, and so he was like taking 3D printing inspired themes and making stained glass out of those related ideas. So
okay.
Yeah, Wellbot is having the name right.
Okay.
Renaissance Tinkerdork.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Not sure if I'm right.
Yeah, it's a difficult name for me to say. Yeah, he's doing awesome stained glass work.
Okay. Yeah, I remember. I will take a look at. I will have make some notes for me, because in the streams often we talk about things, and then later I think, oh my goodness, what was that? What was that? Now I'm making a text document.
Yeah.
To
copying
all this. information. Yeah, also here, TK, I'm going to take a look at your channel because that really interests me to see what you're doing there with this Celtic jewelry.
Yeah, it's on his Facebook page. Yeah.
Okay. Did you see the model that I recently printed in this gold filament from Craftware? It's Santa King from Waxter. Wow, he's such a cool model. But he's not here now. But I'm looking at him when I look over at the printer. That one I would really like to paint, but I don't know how to. So I just leave him a golden boy.
Yeah, yeah. Just like for starts, just take whatever model and just start and see if it's something that you feel comfortable doing and enjoying. Like for me, like painting the landscapes, it's really relaxing for me. Even though I do them on a live stream, talking about what I'm doing, just spending the time to take the paints and I'm just learning how the colors blend and all that, and it's just good fun. Some people will probably not like the time spent on the process, but if you don't try it, you'll never find out. I have no capability of like drawing images. Like all my, I just do stick figures. I have no talent on doing like a face or whatever. But somehow my paint process seems to work, and people enjoy my landscapes, and I enjoy doing them. And like now for Murph, I'm bringing about 20 landscapes, and I'm gonna give them away. and I love that, giving them away to people, and then like I've given quite a number of like other YouTubers that I've got to know, and they show it off on their channel or have it in the background, like Fun King Glenn. He has two of my paintings in the background, and Chris Basement, he has one in the background of all his videos, and I can always point and see, yeah, there's my painting, and
Nice.
It's good fun.
Yeah, the only thing with painting that worked kind of for me was this. I think Tanya Wiesner made this method with where you use color pencils to color the model, and this is what I did with Lasagnescape with the wait a second. With the hand castle, which was the basic part. Yes, this was one thing I painted that really worked, kind of. You can see
it. Color pencil?
With color pencils, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so there, you just pencil and does it stick well to the PLA, or was
you need some sort of primer. You can use spray paint as a primer. You can use acrylic paint as a primer, so that you get a surface to stick on.
Yeah, okay.
And then you can basically use your color pencils and dip them into alcohol or water, depending on which color pencils you have, and you can paint it with the tip of the pencil.
Is it these the color pencils that dissolve in water, the brushable ones?
Yes, this were the ones I used. The simple color pencils like kids use. Yeah, and you can if you use the water dissolvables, you can use water. The other ones you can just use alcohol.
Okay.
And then you can create your painting. But it took me like forever. I was painting this thing for about I think 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
Until it was done, because I'm really, really bad at it, and I had to do so many fixes because something there didn't work, and there, and had to paint over it, and then but this was really the only thing I painted that kind of worked.
Oh, I see. Filament Frenzy also here.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah, he's been in the chat. Yeah, we have like 15 people.
Really?
Yeah.
I only have I have disconnected the chat window, and I'm having the window of the Google Hangouts as my main screen, and I just see on the right hand side the chat, so I don't see how many people are online.
Yeah, yeah. I have a window open just to see the stream is working okay. Yeah, but my next project is the 3 CPU. This one is just mainly gold. I have to still find a story to bass him up, and when doing weathering, see what pain I can put him through.
I think there was one, I don't know if it was in the books or if it was in the movies, where he got this red arm. As an, I don't remember where it was.
Yeah,
Might be in the Clone Wars, I'm not sure. But there was this scene where he got one red arm instead of a golden one.
Yeah, I remember. I have to look that up and see how that could be a like good twist. And, like,
just for a little bit of inspiration, maybe.
Yeah. And I think in one of the movies, his head was replaced by a drone.
Yes. True.
So then in one movie he was like in a all torn apart and like in a net, and Chewbacca had him like in a net carrying him on his back. So I could just take the parts and paint them up and put them in a net.
So basically, you don't even have to glue him.
No. so there's a lot of
under his arm, huh?
Yeah. This guy has been in all sorts of trouble, so I have to find but I like with a Boba Fett character, I looked at images and clips and found what I wanted to replicate or do. So I'll find something to yeah. I have the Chewbacca model. It's not printed yet, but I've gone completely overboard with Star Wars models. I found the side gum body, Dawn.
That's
German
a good
3D printing nerd pointed that out to me, and yeah, completely overboard in buying the models there.
Yeah, that could happen quickly.
Yeah. I got a lot of models in queue to print and do.
Yeah, I would like to print models in a smaller scale, but very high detailed. But the other resin printer that is my own, it has only such a tiny build plate that is too small. And unluckily, I'm giving now I have to give the DAS, which has a bigger one. That would have been perfect for making models like that.
Yeah,
that's a pity. I don't have more money to buy another printer now.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get one to make a review.
Yeah. But I don't think that any company will send me as a female maker a machine. You cannot imagine how many companies I've contacted via mail or over social media and a private message if they could give me please a chance to review something out. They will not. It is incredible.
That's not fair.
Really unfair. Yeah. So I was so happy that Stefan he borrowed it to me. At least there I had a chance to make.
And you did a really good job on that video.
Yeah, I hope so. And I'm gonna do another one just before I return it tomorrow morning. I just want to record a final scene with a printer standing next to me, and then I will go into this post-processing stuff there.
Yeah. Nice. I hope you get one.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Let's work on that. So if there's anyone from any company watching here, Kat needs a resin printer. Here,
Yeah,
she makes great reviews.
Yeah,
Come on, give a shout out here.
Alico, they also have one, the Mars. But we will have to do a nice review or nice project on that electronics kit.
Definitely, we will.
Maybe then they give us ladies a chance to try the resin printer too.
We will rock that.
That would be a nice combination, using the all these parts in there, and then printing something along with it.
I'm thinking of that for quite some time now, but I think we first have to see which kind of project we want to do, so we can, just like you with your painting, Marteinn, get a story around it.
That's much more fun if it has a story.
Yeah, if you get your imagination going, and the story is quick to develop.
But with the lack of
starting point.
but my lack of modeling abilities.
You can do that. We can get it. We can get that together. No problem.
So that's one of my things for this year, that I have to learn a CAD program, no matter if it's Fusion or something else. But I have to have something else besides Tinkercad. That's not enough.
Yeah, you should really go with Fusion and like Angus Megasmuse CAD for newbies videos. He starts to basically how to create a box and a spear and
I haven't had time yet. I know that, but I haven't had time. That we have so much work at the moment at my day job. The company I work for, it's a dental company, and in 2 weeks we're gonna have the biggest exhibition worldwide taking place in Cologne, and so we have lots of things to prepare there for the exhibition, and lots of groups are coming and stuff. And so I had not so much time. I really want to.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah, and like for me, if you have like a practical project around the house, just something that you need to fix or something, and getting measurements and like say force you to do a model because you have to fix something, and then you start, and that makes you have to learn the basics to do basic things, and so if you look around and see there's some problem with a shelf or something, and you need a new handle for it or whatnot, then you find the excuse that you have to learn the program. Like that handle. And something that
it's not going to break anymore, even if I hit on my wooden head. Dick Schädel, we have a German saying for that. That's not gonna break anymore.
So like for me, I've been playing around with 3D modeling like 20 years ago.
Oh wow!
Just creating whatever and simple animations and such. So doing 3D CAD for me is not a problem in regard of 3D printing, but if you find a practical need, then you can decide, okay, I'm going to use this tool like Fusion 360 to do it, and then you get stuck on how do I start, and then you find a video on that subject, and then you learn that, and there you go on, and after a few weeks of doing maybe 10 or 5 or 10 small items around the house, then you'll have the basics, and then there's nothing stopping you. So
you just have to get started.
Yeah, basically.
That's the worst part. If you get yourself on there and you say, now I do it, that's the first step. You just have to get started. And when you work on it, you will get comfortable. But you just have to start.
Yeah, I'm full of German sayings. So in German we have der Schweinehund. We have
der innere Schweinehund.
The internal pig dog. It says, "No, I'm too lazy. I don't want to do this. I don't want to." The other side, "Yes, but you should do it. You should do it." "No, but I'm so lazy. I want to see to where I am." inner pig dog. One chopping and the other wants, but he doesn't. He's not strong enough to get the pig working.
Yeah. Swinehund. Yeah.
I don't know. There's no English word for this. I have to Google it, but I don't think there's any English one.
I don't know.
Yeah, and
I think Don, he's living in Germany for such a long time. He already knows this, huh? Innere Schweinehund.
yeah, I've heard this saying. Yeah,
You
but
have, okay.
yeah, but here's another project I did. This is like a spool holder to snap on to 2040 extrusions. I was looking on Thingiverse for a spool holder that would mount to extrusion, and there's a lot of models that you can just take out and print. But what I do, maybe I search on Thingiverse for some item that I need for whatever, and then instead of using that one, I create my own in CAD. So I have the reference, so I have the idea in front of me, but I want to do my own model and use that to practice with the CAD software. So even though you can find a lot of things on Thingiverse and print them out and they will work, having that as a reference and doing the model, that is a good practice as well. I didn't find any exactly like this spool holder model, but I got some ideas, and the one that's on the Prusa here behind me, that is somewhat similar, but snaps onto the Prusa frame. So it's not like an original idea of mine of doing it like this, but I just wanted to do it my own and use it to practice and get more fluid with Fusion. So when I have to do something really unique, I can, like with my extruder mount for the CR10, where I did extruder mount for the Bondtech extruder and the Mosquito hot end. That's a design that I just started with the physical parts and the CR10 and how to get this all together and created that model, and it's been quite popular on Thingiverse for people wanting to mount a Mosquito hot end on the CR10.
That is also something I would like to learn, because I have this printer I'm just looking at on it. It's the blue one you can see in some of my videos, and the x-axis is wobbling. It's on a linear rail, but the linear rail is worn out, so I cannot use it anymore. And also, the motherboard and the software and everything, it's a closed Marlin, and I would like to replace it. And also the NEMA, so the stepper motors in there, they're really very loud. So even my husband in the next room, is really annoying for him. He cannot work if his printer is running. It's so loud. So I think I would love to rip off everything, but I don't know how to set up Marlin. So this is really so annoying. I'm very good at fiddling around with stuff, but that is something I don't know how to do it. And I'm so afraid that afterwards, at the moment, I still only have to replace the linear rail, but I want to have something that is more open source, because it's kind of stuck in what it is at the moment. And so there I'm really lost. And
Marlin is like, it's very well documented, the config, and if you have like when I'm using Marlin 1.19 on my CR10 and not the image from Creality. The Marlin ships with like a sample configuration that basically has the basic settings in. But as I was doing modifications to my printer, I needed to change several things. As I get along changing one or two things, and I found those settings in the code, and then I changed that and flashed the printer, and then I did more changes, and then I changed a little bit more settings, and like I have a document of all the changes, and maybe 20 different settings in Marlin that is custom to my modifications, and it's maybe overwhelming to get started, But like
Yeah.
for Marlin, if you watch Chris Riley's videos on Marlin, he goes through the process of configuring Marlin for a custom printer. And if you just follow along, he will show you all the programs or what you need to set it up. Like
Yeah, but I'm afraid, I'm afraid that when I'm not using exact the same printer as he is, I'm already lost, because I don't know any G code by heart. I simply wouldn't know what I'm doing there.
Yeah, it's not like G code. Like if you start with a base printer, you set the bed size, and if the country can move up maximum of 200 millimeters, you find the C height, maximum C height.
Okay, yeah, that I understand. Okay.
And change that to 200. Maybe the sample has 250, so you change that value, and maybe your end stops you have to invert, so they're active or not active default. So you change 1 to 0 in some places. So if you like follow along the changes, it's very structured and logical. So like Chris Riley has very good.
Okay, so I will give it a try.
Yeah, it's. I know it's imitating if you're not familiar with config files and coding or whatnot. It's
not at all.
It's not that you have to write some code to get it to work. You're just changing some values, and all those values are very structured and documented. So you just have to start with the beginning and setting the bed size and like you have the extruder steps per millimeter.
Yeah.
To set
that is what I did lately. I calibrated the extruder on my Delta printer. There I did some configuration, and this Delta printer, it has a touch probe that is just an end stop. Then you have to do also some calculation in the G code, and then you always have to upload it in Marlin with Arduino. You have to compile it. So that I have done, but I've never left this little thing that I had to do. So and when you look in this Marlin, it has so many tabs up there. And you say, oh my goodness, what is all this stuff there?
Yeah, but basically it's just one tab that you're going to use for almost everything.
Really?
Just configuration.h.
It's just the h config?
Yeah, the configuration.h. That has all the settings. Then all the files are the specifics. But in the settings that you edit, it's almost everything is in configuration.h. So there's also configuration advanced.h that might have some settings, but for most cases, if you have a template for a similar printer from the samples, because they ship with a lot of samples, and then you just then you
it could be something like the CR10 or the Prusa style, because it's just looks like the bed is moving, and then the same thing like your CR10
so most likely you have to change the size of the bed, size of the build volume, like height and all that. Maybe have to invert the end stops. So when if it's moving back and forth with a maximum or minimum, it depends on how the end stop switches are, if they're normally closed or normally open. So that's and the extruder steps depending on your motor.
That I already fiddled around. I was able to. I just followed the instruction that I found somewhere on the internet. I hope that I saved the page where I got it from, but that kind of worked. The workflow. So did you have to do some changes to your Marlin, Mia? Have you fiddled around with that?
Okay. Not yet. I wish I could help you with that, but I have no idea so far. I didn't have to until now. With the Prusa, it's no problem at all. It's already open source. You don't have any problems. So if you want to change something, you could. But why should you? Because it's working. And with the ANET, was just working with the hardware, simply e-steps configuration, what you have to do for maintenance, and that's all.
So are you still using it?
The Anet, yes.
Yeah.
I'm still using it, but I only use it when I can watch it.
Yeah, for the ANET, you really should enable thermal runaway in the Marlin, so it will detect if it's gonna overheat. So there are like 1 million videos on how to enable thermal runaway for ANET. That's really important because you don't want to burn your house.
That's true. Well, I got MOSFETs installed, so at least a little bit secure.
Yeah, but the problem with the thermal runaway is if the thermistor goes out in the heater block, then the heater will continue to heat and it will melt down the aluminium block and cuts.
I've seen the pictures.
Yeah. So that's the main safety concern. I think I don't have this printer, but what I've read people talking about is the thermal runaway, and then just bad wiring on the heat bed.
The wiring is the main problem. You really, I changed so many wires on it just to get it right. You basically the ANET is you should screw the wires directly to the board. There are no clamps and nothing, so you really have to be careful if you want to use it stock as it is, so you don't get any shortage.
Yeah, the like the green connectors on the board, they are not any good.
No, not at all.
Yeah, that's
most come in loose, so you have to do some soldering in most cases to get it to work.
Yeah, I really want to like buy myself a railcore kit. Put that together. I think that's like the ultimate.
The ultimate machine. Yeah, I've read about it.
Home level kit build that you can do.
Yeah. Then you need a house.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's big, huh? It's quite big, is it?
Yeah, I think it's the build volume is 300 by 300 by 300, but then it's quite big around that, so it takes a lot of space. And like for me, I have to kill off the CR10 to have space for the railcore. I only have space for those 3 printers, and when I talk to my wife about maybe I'll put a table here or what not, she will kill me if I do it. So, so I have no option of adding more
printers.
And like if I would get a printer for review, I would have to have it on a table here while doing the review and test prints and such, and then I would have to just scrap it for parts, or I don't know, give it away or something,
or borrow it from somebody, just like I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then cry when you have to give it back.
Yeah, it's difficult because like my space is like 2.5 meters times 2 meters, so it's just a small corner in the living room. I don't want to move out to the garage because it's not connected to the apartment building. And if I would be there with a printer, I would be out in the garage all day. And but now I at least have my wife in the sofa watching TV or something, and we can talk and all that.
So how big is your room, Mia?
It's about I think 2 meters in one direction and 2.5, 3 in the other. It's a small room, but at least they could fit some desks in there, and my printers are on tables, and one free table is still there, so I'm still hoping to get another one someday. Not now. That would really take some time, but I want more.
Yeah, it's high addictive, no? This hobby is
absolutely,
high addictive.
absolutely. Once
Crazy.
it started,
everybody that looks at my room here, they say I'm totally nuts. I'm not normal.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I saw like a meme or a painting or a picture where there was images of a guy having different types of hobbies, and one guy having like a sports car, and he had 2 ladies on his side, and then another guy had a better car, and he had 5 girls on his side, and so on, and like a movie star had like 10 women on his side, and then there was a guy with a 3D printer, and the only thing he had was a cat.
Yeah, the cat is worth much more than anything else.
Yeah,
we all have cats here.
Yeah,
my cat is somewhere. My cat is somewhere sleeping, I think. But yeah, it was quite funny.
Martin, I still have to buy your T-shirt.
Yeah,
I wanted to wait until my T-shirt arrives just to check the size. But now, as I know the sizes of that channel, I know where to buy them. Now I can buy myself one.
Yeah, I was ordering a little bit more for Murph, and had my name here on it.
Okay.
Then the Icelandic flag on the
cool.
on the side.
That's a good idea.
Then the channel and my name in big letters on the back.
Wow.
So
cool.
at Murph, I will be clearly marked, so people can see me from all directions. So
that's a good idea.
So
yeah, I'm also gonna take. I have 2 of them, one with long sleeves and one with short sleeves, and I think I'm gonna take them with me too.
Yeah.
I have another one that I made in America last time I was there at Earth. Yeah, that's just a plain white one.
Yeah.
But the gray one I like more that I have now from this other company, a spreadshirt.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with like this one I am wearing. This is from Spreadshirt, and to me at least they fit quite well, and
quality seems to be good, huh?
Yeah.
Is yours also from Fruit of the Loom?
Sorry,
you know the brand Fruit of the Loom? The brand inside.
Yeah, let me check.
What, that was Icelandic even. Wait a minute, you just said,
yeah,
huh?
Yeah, Fruit of the Loom.
Yeah, that is a American brand. I still remember from my childhood when we were in America. Many of my T-shirts had that in there, and I know it's a good brand.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, cool. I made like I'm only here for the cat. I'm here just for the cat. And then I did one with Eyjafjallajökull, the volcano.
Okay.
And then just one that's just the logo. And you know Mara from Matter Hackers, that's the Matter Hacker Minutes. She was wearing all kind of T-shirts, and I asked her if I could send her a T-shirt, and she told me yes, and told me his size, and I sent her a T-shirt, and she wore my T-shirt in one of her shows.
Wow.
Not so long ago.
Yeah, she also said once I have a T-shirt, I should send her one, and then she would also wear it in one of her videos. So I thought of ordering her. Which size does she have?
I can't remember, but
could you send me a private message with her size?
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna order one when I go to Murph for her. It doesn't have to be now. Later is okay.
Yeah, I have her.
You know the exact model, because I think there are many models, and maybe some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. So I would need the exact model that you ordered, and I would put my logo on there.
Yeah.
Mia, you should also make something like that. It's cool. I think you would sell very well, better than I do, because nobody ever has bought anything from my side. But I don't matter. I just did it for myself, you know.
So many other things to do first.
Yeah.
One day, maybe.
You know how I did it? I was lying in bed, and then I thought, oh, I need something like that. And then I whoops, and there you go.
The best ideas just happen like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sending you just on Twitter the name of the design and the size. So you can see the size and also the name of the woman's T-shirt.
Because they have so many different variations, and I think some of them, if you say M, is not always a M. Because I bought one with long sleeves, and it's so big. It's far too big, you know. My husband already said, you're not going to wear this anywhere else than in bed. And I said, okay. Well, so it's so big.
Yeah, it's difficult to like the sizes. I got Chris from Practical Printing. When he came to Iceland for a visit, he was going with his wife on a holiday, and he made a visit, and I gave him one of my T-shirts. And if you look at his videos, you think he's like a big guy, very tall. So I had like double X sizes that fit me, because I'm quite big. I thought, that will work fine for him. But then we met up, and he's much smaller than I am, and he probably uses medium or something. so it was like a tent on him.
Oh my God! Yeah.
but he wore it once in a video.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, wow.
It was quite.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was quite big for him.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's funny.
So what are the others writing? My printers have all taken my front room. I think there are lots of women, the wives or girlfriends that are very upset of expanding place.
Yeah, it's like with the printer. I got my Prusa MK2S. That was my first printer. I thought one printer should be quite enough. And while I was waiting for that printer, I was looking up YouTube videos and learning about 3D printing and seeing people having 5 or 10 printers even. And I was like, wow, that's totally crazy. And then I got mine, and while printing away something for 10 hours, I was starting to think, it would be nice to have another printer to be able to print on. And well, that one is printing, and now I have 3 printers, and sometimes I wish I had more, because they're all 3 printing, and I'm just waiting, and it's like like a free truck on the corner. You get hooked on it, and then you can't stop.
Absolutely.
That's really true. Yeah. Oh my goodness! Excuse me. I didn't sleep well last night.
Yeah, TK is saying his wife was also enjoying 3D printing. So yeah, and like for my wife, she's slowly starting to come to me and say, can you do this and that, and like to fix something around the house, or she's starting to have it in her brain that I can manufacture some parts. so that's always gives me a good excuse to have all this stuff, because I can get practical print requests.
That's true. I have so many things on mine that I still want to print. But no time. And the skills have to, as I said before, the cat, it's in my brain, but I have to have the abilities how to do it.
You just have to start.
Yeah. I will.
When all printers are running and you don't know what to do, you can learn. You can start with Fusion.
Oh, I have so many things, if you instance see the jewelry casting and photography and yeah, I have so many hobbies. This is a little bit my problem, just to stay a little bit focused. You know, I start thousands of things and then I don't
I
get
know that.
finished. This is a big problem of mine. You know, that I get interested I get inflamed very quickly. You know, so I want this, and then but you know to stick to it and really finish it all the way through. So I was so proud that at least this handbag I got finished, because that was so much work and I couldn't see it at the end anymore. I was so, you know, it's just like if you're knitting for months, you're knitting a damn shirt or something, and then you cannot wear it because you cannot take a look at it anymore. It's the same thing.
You start to hate it
Yes,
before it's finished.
before you, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
This I know this very well. I start some things, then I lay them aside because I have to do something else. And so I have projects which I started and which are still lying there. And with your handbag, it was the same. I found my old handbag, which is lying there for about 12 years or so.
Oh God!
Still not finished. So I know that problem very well. But I will finish it. I know it. I just can't say when or in which year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have projects for years, but I tend to keep like small boxes like this around so I start on some project and then I want to do a YouTube video on how I designed this thing, and I have all the iterations of the test prints and starting to build up the design and testing out strength and such. And then I keep all the parts and like for this one, this is like maybe 1 week since I got the design I'm going to use, but this can stay in this bucket for a few weeks before I do a video. And sometimes I have like projects piled up, like here's the 3 CTO
another
project
one. Okay, that's a good idea.
So
that's a good idea.
Have them contained in boxes, and I have another box with all the purse block from the palette. I want to do a video on the purse blocks and have the video idea in my head, but to get to it. So I tend to stack up several video ideas, and then all of a sudden I get into the mood. Okay, I'm now going to do a video, and I record maybe 3 or 4 videos on the same day, maybe on a Sunday or Saturday. But they have been maybe several weeks building up the materials for it, and they're just being because sometimes I'm in the mood of just printing out things, and then in the mood of doing video editing and then doing post-processing, and it comes and goes, and sometimes I just have no interest in doing video editing, and then my projects start to pile up. And then I look at my, like, when I do like 4 videos the same day, I schedule them on the YouTube channel, so that I don't release like 5 different Star Wars videos on the same day. So I schedule them, and then I see then I see, okay, now I have nothing in the schedule, so like I have to get this one going to continue the weekly Star Wars video. So tomorrow I have to do something about this one to be able to release a video on Sunday. And same with the MakerBox series. I do like MakerBox Monday videos, and so every Monday there's a MakerBox video. Now I have MakerBox that I have to do unboxing of and doing test prints, and that's 5 videos that I do most likely in the same day, and those are relatively short videos. And then I queue them up, so I don't have to do a MakerBox video for a month because everything is just queued up. So I do it like in a burst workload style. Switching from different things, and like I do the video editing, but I'm nowhere like any good at it, so to speak. I just do what's necessary to do videos, but I'm not like a video editing guru or anything. So I find that process quite daunting on me sometimes. But
Yeah,
I have to do it to get the content out.
Yeah, the video editing takes longer than recording the video sometimes.
Yeah.
God.
Sometimes I have to do some fixes on my printer and think this could be a good video on the process, and you spend 2 or 3 times the time on the project just because you're recording. You want to get some camera angles and such, and then you have a material for a video. But sometimes I don't have the time, or I don't want to do a video. I'll just fix it. So, but for like other hobbies, I also take a lot of landscape photos, and that hobby.
I've seen it's also kind of hobby of you, huh? Photography.
Yeah. So, but since I started 3D printing, I haven't never gone out doing landscapes photos.
Really? Oh my God, what a pity.
Yeah, I have my.
He can make his landscapes now by himself.
Yeah, no, just print them out, and I can use my camera to take the landscape photos. I don't have
exactly.
So are you doing this with a drone, huh?
Yeah, with a drone, and also just this. I have this professional camera, and now I'm using it to take thumbnail images for my YouTube videos. So I have like studio lights and everything.
Is it a Canon or a Nikon?
Yeah, Canon 5D Mark II.
Yeah. Is it a company's or your own?
Yeah, it's my own.
Okay.
Yeah, photogrammetry. I do that with my drone to create detailed maps and aerial imagery. So I use my drone and fly it around. So drone, like I have the photos to go out, take landscapes, and I have a drone. I have the 3D printing, and also I create the maps for Iceland.
Yeah.
So I have too many hobbies, and what I somehow managed to make some kind of revenue on all the hobbies I get. So I can't. It always comes like with the 3D printing. The first Prusa, it took me 4 months to pay it off just by printing some models for relatives.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I have never printed anything for profit for anybody. So
yeah, it took me 4 months, and then I just why not make some money on this as well? And then
I don't think that anybody would ever buy something from me here. Oh yeah, the guy that the airbrushing guy, he said that he wanted a vase and he paid me. That was the only one, but nobody else.
Yeah, like for the landscapes, normally I just paint them because I want to, and I give them away to people in the 3D printing community. But I also got requests a few times for people to if I can do like their area where they grow up, or their father or mother grew up, and they want to give it as a gift or something. So I've done like on commission few landscapes.
Oh, that's cool.
I think if I think about it, I probably the initial cost of the CR10 is probably covered on landscapes that I've sold. But then I've done all the upgrades that's like with the Bondtech and Mosquito Hot End and all that. So the price of the CR10 is crazy. With all the upgrades. But it's like it's good for the like home accounting to be able to sell a few items and get some money back.
So did you ever sell something, Mia?
No. I did get a message from my mini factory, and I was talking to Adi, I think is her name. I forgot, because they wanted me to get in the store and to sell some of my models, but
cool.
I have no idea if anyone would buy them or
Give it a try. Give it a try. Why not?
First, I have to figure out how this works legally. Basically, if you're selling something in Germany, you have to fulfill some kinds of processes first. So you have to go to the financial office.
No, I think there's eine Freigrenze. I think there's something between 300 and 400 euro, which is still under the roof of being a hobby. So I think if you can prove to them that you per month not sell more than 300 or 400 euro, but I would check that out. But if I'm right, there's a minimum income that you can have on a hobby basis, and if that amount doesn't go over that, then it's okay.
Because I just don't want to get in any trouble.
Yeah.
With the taxes and all this, if I really do it, I want to do it right just from the start, just to get it all covered. And I had so much to do lately that I completely get it out of my head, and that's a good reminder. So I wanted to talk to the financial office. I don't know what it's called, Finanzamt.
Finanzamt, yeah.
What I have to do if I have to Gewerbe anmelden, or what it's called.
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's under the state of being a hobby. No, I cannot imagine.
This is something I just don't know. I have absolutely no experience in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like for me on the mapping project I'm doing, because it's basically a hobby that I sell out the maps. When I was starting, I just contacted my local tax office and asked how can I do this properly and by every rule in the book, and they just went through it, what I had to do, and I just had to learn that to do it, because I don't want to get the tax at some point saying, "Hey, you owe us money." Blah, blah.
Yes, exactly.
So do you have to pay? Do you have to pay taxes for those things that you have sold, or is it still there's a little amount of money that you are able to earn? Like I said,
in most cases, it's under the limit, but when I like. Because a lot of my stuff for the mapping has been for government agencies, like the Coast Guard and several other agencies, and then I create like an invoice, and that comes into my tax as a contractor's fee. And then once a year, when I do my taxes, I list up those invoices. I have to pay back my normal tax like I was an employee. So I just have to keep track of the invoices and list them on the tax return and make sure I don't forget, because
get over a certain amount. I think.
Yeah, because if it's with a like value-added tax. My yearly sales are not high enough, so I need to have a value-added tax. So it's under that one, but it's still revenue. So when I invoice the government, they will see that as a revenue. So I have to pay just normal employee tax on those invoices. So. Yeah, and I've just gone through every instruction the tax office made me go through. So because it's a hobby of mine doing the maps, and I have some revenue for it, but I don't want to get the tax at me saying that I owe them a lot of money after 5 years or something. And I want to do do it right away, just
in the right
correct.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just about. So next month I also have to do my taxes, and I want to ask the lady that she's going to do it for me the first time, because since I'm married, it's not as easy as it was in the past, and I want to ask her the exact same thing, because I have no idea what it's like here in Liechtenstein. But I think it's similar to what you just said, Martin, and I think Mia, it should be something similar also in Germany, from what I know. Yeah,
I have read a lot of. I googled like crazy, and I found so many different things. So in that even the it's from file to file. I don't know what it's.
depends.
It depends.
Yeah.
So if you're doing design only, just selling virtual content, it's more like a freelancing work. So you don't have to Gewerbe anmelden. You don't have to
create a company.
Yes. And if you are selling the prints itself, then you are basically in sales. So this would be, you have what is it called?
So they differentiated. Gewerbeschein.
Yeah. This is something you can just do. You need this to start, and this is what I have to find out if I need this or if I don't.
Yeah, so same thing for me. If I ever want to sell my jewelry, I also have to find out what I have to do there, because I don't want to do anything wrong.
Exactly.
Stuff I did until now, I gave it away, or as presents for some people, but I never sold anything.
Yeah, so it's different if you're like producing any physical object, or if you're just selling your services as a person doing some work. So it's different. Yeah, it's not very complicated here in Iceland, but still they have all the info in the tax office on how to do this. So it's not very difficult to follow along.
Yeah. Did you see, Mia, what Dawn just sent us here in the?
Yes, I've seen it. I just can't check it out right now, but I will look into it later.
Yeah.
Because this is so complicated, and
in Germany it's really a horror.
Yeah. And I if I see some paragraphs or like stuff is written, I'm getting an instant headache. I just can't read this. I want it in a simple way explained so that I can understand it. And if
it's typical German. Paragraphs. I don't understand a bit. Yeah, I'm with you in that.
This is so much. It's just like they are writing 3 pages to say something you could probably tell someone in 3 words.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you just have to get like a tax lawyer and pay him 1,000 euros per hour, and if you sell like for 5 euros one piece, you'll have to pay the lawyer 1,000 euros in fees.
Yeah. Oh God.
So complicated, and this is something it's so hard for me.
Yeah, for me too. Yeah. It's not my thing at all. Everything that has to do with office work, I hate. I hate. I'm not good at doing that.
Give me something creative. I can work with that.
Yeah.
But if I just can see some texts and it's like I'm fading away instantly. I can't work with that.
Oh, you guys, you know what? It's almost 11 here where I live, and also where you live, Mia.
Yeah.
I think my hubby, he's gonna be angry if I stay too much longer, because he just returned back home, and I would at least see him before he goes to bed. I think he's quite tired. Yeah, he had a long distance driving trip today, going back home. And I hope it would be okay for you if I leave you.
Yeah, I think it's just has been a great stream. We have been almost for 2 hours, and that's plenty enough time for the stream. So I think we'll just say our outros.
Yeah, is it okay? I hope
yeah.
you're not so upset with me.
No.
I'm so patient back there, but
bit tired myself, and because
okay.
I'm having this stomach issue and want to get off as well. So
yeah, so I'm keeping fingers crossed that everything that they can help you.
Yeah,
because I know that I'm a stomach person too, so I can imagine what that feels like, what you have now.
Yeah. So
yeah.
If you just do your outro, Kat.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody that has been watching or maybe will be watching after this is finished here, maybe somebody decides to watch it later. I just want to thank you so much for sticking around. Yeah, it's always fun to be on board with this stream on Friday evenings, and the ones that are watching now, hopefully you'll come back next time. It would be so much fun. And if you want, you could join in if you live in Europe. We have so many people on our list, but I don't know if they're too shy or they're too busy or they say, yeah, but just go for it. It's so funny, and it would be so cool if you could decide, or you would decide to join in. So wishing you all a good night, like always, and see you in the next one.
Yeah, thank you, Kat. And Mia, if you do your outro.
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and I hope you come back. Just like Kat said, it would be awesome to have some more people in the chat because it's really great fun. And if you want to join us, we would really love that. I really don't know what more to say, so bye.
Yeah, thanks. I'm Marteinn. I have my channel 3DP Iceland. I do all sorts of stuff on my channel, and I've been taking care of the European version of the Friday Hangout streams. And like they mentioned, if you want to take part, just let me know on Twitter. We have a Twitter group that we gather all the people taking part, and I can give you an invite to that group. So just let me know on Twitter. But I think for now, I thank you all for watching and taking part in the chat. It's been a very good stream, and we had good fun. So thanks all, and I will see you all later.
Bye bye.